Open Your Eyes is brought to you by the Belize Bank. Our country, your bank.
Open your eyes, start your morning right. I am John Palacio, and it's always nice to be here with you. It is a beautiful Thursday morning, Belize, a beautiful Thursday morning. We're looking good, we're feeling good. We're in a lovely country, and the weather, of course, is feeling so nice. I don't know what your tradition is normally when you get up. Normally you probably take a jog, or you probably get some water, that's the first thing, or you have a conversation with those that you love overseas. Whatever you do, make sure that you start your morning with your morning routine. Start your morning right. It is always important to get your morning off just the way you can reckon it. Why is that? Simply because your day flows by. It is what you normally do. All right, and at this particular time, we know that it's chilly out. It's getting chilly out. I'm not the pro. We've got the pro on the line. We've got forecaster Francisca on the line. Let's see what she's got there. Francisca, good morning. All right, do I have her online? Do I have her? Hello? Nobody online? Oh, all right, so there we go. No problem, no problem. Like I mentioned, the chilliness is about to set in, so I'll be telling you about the weather forecast. Francisca is, we want to thank her so very much for providing us with a copy of it. In the general situation, it's saying here generally fair weather prevails. All right, in the 24-hour forecast, cloudy spells with isolated showers or thunderstorms, except over the south tonight. And the winds are blowing from the west to northwest at 5 to 10 knots. The temperatures for today rising as high as 85 degrees Fahrenheit coastal, 89 inland, and 75 up in the hills. Lows for tonight crawling as low as chilly 73 along the coast, 69 degrees Fahrenheit inland, and 65 up in the hills. Wow, 65. And the outlook, or the general situation, the outlook actually, it is for showers and thunderstorms to be isolated Friday morning. Then as a cold front approaches the country, and this will increase over inland areas in the afternoon, spreading to coastal areas by Friday night. We want to say a big thank you to forecaster Francisca Wellington for providing us with that copy of the weather forecast. You can't say we didn't tell you. 73 for tonight, 69 that's inland, and 65 up in the hills. So make sure that you've got those jackets out. Finally the last come again, leave break. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. And while the weather is so nice, it's always nice to continue with the routine, like I mentioned. And our routine is to always tell you about our daily, about our eye-opener. And it comes from dailyaham.com. And it goes like this. It is not the quantity of time that matters, but the quality that you experience during each moment. We live in an age of quantity. The media shapes us with the notion that larger, faster, and more are often synonymous with better. We're told that we need to find more time, more possessions, and more love to be truly happy. A smaller quantity of anything that is high in quality will almost always be more satisfying. A single piece of our favorite chocolate or a thin spread of freshly made preserves can satisfy us more than a full basket of a product that we aren't very fond of. Similarly, one fulfilling experience can eclipse many empty moments strung together. It is not the quantity of time that matters, but the quality that you experience during each moment. Every minute is an opportunity to love yourself and love others, develop confidence and self-respect, and exhibit courage. Often, it is in the pursuit of quality, we cheat ourselves of quality. Then again, quantity also plays a significant role in our lives. certain elements such as hugs, kisses, abundance, and love are best had in copious amounts that are high in quality. But faced with the choice between a single heartfelt grin and a lifetime of empty smiles, most would not or no doubt choose the former. Ultimately, it is not how much you live or have or do, but what you make of each moment that counts. You know, I say to start your morning right. I do say to continue with your routine. And I think this is a good way to start it. I think this is something that when you provide even just a little amount, it means a lot to somebody. You know, it also reminds me that one man garbage is another man prized possession. No, it doesn't matter how big or small it is. Quality counts. Quantity counts in its own way, but it's the quality that you actually provide for these people. It's the quality that you provide for yourself and your life, and how important you keep that to you. So as of today, make it about the quality that you give and not the quantity that you do. All right? That's from me, from us to you, taken from dailyarm.com. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sure if you saw what happened on Tuesday, but Tuesday night was, delicious for KTV Latino Season 4, and they sung their hearts out. Only 3 remaining. They had their finals on Tuesday. Who the 10,000 will go to? I don't know. We don't know, but the power is actually left up to you. If you've got your smartphone, you could vote. If you've got your digital phone, you could vote. But if you want to see the fun from last Tuesday, you could always check that out on our Facebook page. You could also check that out tomorrow for the repeat. That's tomorrow, Friday, for the repeat at 8:30. And of course, on Sunday again as it repeats. Now, on Monday, November 18th, that's the final date. Who will it be to walk away with $10,000? Will it be Lala? Will it be Marino? Or will it be Mr. Desmond Berry? We're not sure. The power is up to you. So make sure that you vote for your favorite contestant. As we continue to move on, later on this morning, we've got some wonderful conversations lined up for you. But before we do that as well, or tell you who we've got lined up, we want to give a big birthday shout out to none other than Shakira Young. Shakira, happy birthday to you. And I'll keep it right there. We enjoy the cool. Shakira Young, it comes from all of us here at Channel 5 and all of us right here on Open Your Eyes. Well, we get moving now into our show for this morning. We've got 3 wonderful lineups for you. The first segment for this morning, we'll be discussing on Black Cuba advocacy. We'll be having representatives in to give us shed light on that conversation. That's in the first segment. In the second segment for this morning, White Yardie. First time that Belize. I like that. It's actually a comedy show, and we've got that showcase for you in the second segment. It sounds fun, huh? It sounds fun. And in the third segment for this morning, we'll be having a musical guest. It's going to be a lit Thursday morning. We want for you to stay with us. We want for you to enjoy. We want for you to keep your morning routine and opening your eyes to start your morning right. When we come back, we'll be discussing Unblock Cuba advocacy. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Highlights of CARFESTA 14's opening ceremony. Lots to do, lots to see as we explore Destination Barbados. And we continue our look into the Sustainable Tourism Conference held in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. All this and more right here on this station.
And welcome back to Open Your Eyes. We're now moving into our first segment for the morning. We've got Un-Black Cuba Advocacy. Now, what is it about? And in to tell us more about it, we have with us Orestes Hernandez, who is the Minister Counselor at the Embassy of Cuba to Belize. I hope I got that name correctly.
Yes.
Orestes Hernandez.
Yes, that's correct.
Sounds like a rhyme too. I like that.
Yeah, especially the first name. Orestes is not an easy name from the English-speaking people. So
we know how that is.
I have experienced a lot of that misunderstanding about that. But anyhow, I mean, you pronounce it very properly.
Yeah, I put my Cuba chip in, and then
yes,
I got the name correctly.
Something I appreciate.
Senor, muy buenos dias. It's nice to have you on. Very pleasant morning to you, and welcome.
Thank you.
Now, you know, I was looking at it this morning, and I saw the Un-Black Cuba Advocacy, and I surely want to delve in there. But I've got to say that not the convo, but the relationship between Belize and Cuba, I think that we share a very healthy relationship. We've been having our students across there who actually comes back and provide for us the best when it comes to medical health, the best when it comes to sports. So there's a lot. Let's jump on into the Belize and Cuba relationship before we go further.
I think that we can feel very proud of that because Belize has been part of our relation for almost 30 years.
Wow.
Even though before the independence, we started just to have that kind of relation between our people. But yes, you're right. Basically, education, healthcare, culture has been in the center of that bilateral relation. And this coming year will be commemorated the 25th anniversary of the diplomatic relation between our two countries. Many Belizean students have been traveling to Cuba to study medicine. Around maybe 200, 300 medical personnel has been coming to Belize to be part of the Cuban Medical Brigade.
Of course.
That's been also all around the country in every village and that. And the other day, last month we visited as far as Benque Viejo del Carmen to the House of Culture.
Yes.
And then we realized that there was later 90s, for the first time there was a group of Cuban technical in terms of culture that came to Belize, and then together we work in that kind of project as that House of Culture project. So it means that it's a wide range, wide spectrum of relations, but definitely we consider that Belize is part of our history because, which is something that is not well known, when in 1863, when our national hero Jose Marti was 10 years old, he came to Belize with his father, and he spent several months here in Belize. So something that we are looking just to try to find information. We have a very good relation with NICH. Last year we signed a memorandum of understanding, and some intellectuals and researchers are coming to Belize, and I'm traveling to Cuba just to work together, because by that time there were a group of slaves that were taken to Cuba by the Spaniards. So there is a common history that we are being very proud of, and then we've been working very hard.
You know, I'm so glad you mentioned the common history, because with the relationship being this healthy, we know for a fact that we share things in similarity. Now, to hear that, one of your national heroes came to Belize when he was 10 years old and lived here for a few months, it becomes much more of a dear to us situation. For me, it makes me feel much more closer to Cuba, knowing that we share ties. And then again, you did mention the relationship you shared with Nitch. We also had on here not too long ago an individual who represented Cuba at the time, and we're talking about the relationship we share with art. Can we delve into that in Belize, Cuba, in that artisan position?
I might be enumerating many examples of that, but as early as 2002, I think, there was a group of young Belizean artists that traveled to Cuba to participate in our biennial, and the younger by that time, which is younger, still young, but Yasser Musa, he was part of a group of young artists that traveled to Cuba and stayed there. There were also a couple of drummers, Belizean drummers, that traveled to Cuba and stayed in Cuba for, I think, a year or something in our School of Arts. And after that, we've been bringing and going different kind of this kind of culture interchange. In our recent in the recent year, I mean, during our tour here, we have experienced a different visit from Cuba, from people to participate in the international festival, jazz festival. I'm sorry. There is a great Cuban fellow here, Carlos Perrote, who is a musician, great musician in Cuba, and he has been a key, a fundamental key in that issue. Yes. We have had here a visual arts artist. We have here a great Cuban son music group, just composed by women from Santiago de Cuba, Morena Son. They've been here. Actually, recently during the International Film Festival, we have had a couple of Cuban films. Mm-hmm. So it means that it's been a great experience in terms of interchange. There was a group of National Library Service here that traveled to Cuba just to share and just to try to set up a group of events that we can share together. Yeah. So it means that we are working, we are alive. So it means that relation, that common history has brought us just to have a very deep and intense cultural life between our two countries.
And that brings us again to similarity, because when it comes to the cultural aspect of both countries, we know for a fact that it's rich, it's healthy. Mm-hmm. We share this similarity in making sure firsthand that we showcase the visual arts and what we've got. Let's talk about the educational aspect of the Belize-Cuba relations and how one can actually get a scholarship to go across to Cuba and bring back that rich educational ability back home. What is that like for us?
It's a part of a bilateral program, which is part of also as a program, scholarship program that we have with the CARICOM countries, on which we base our that kind of project. Based on that, there is every year we provide a group of scholarships in medicine, basically. At the beginning of the project, we usually provide scholarships in many different fields, including literature or sport or whatever. But nowadays, due to the situation that we've been facing, Cuba it's only providing scholarships in medicine. And I have to say that it is important to understand that even that we have been facing an important, difficult time in our life due to the so-called embargo or blockade, Cuba has the decision to maintain that scholarship program with all of the CARICOM countries, which is something important in the case that Cuba is providing that for free. So, as we say in Cuba, we give our brothers and sisters what we have, not what we have in common. So it means that we are very proud of that. More than 400 Belizeans has been trained, foremen, medicals, and nurses, and so. And now they are working in all of the nationwide geography, working with the population, something that we are very proud of.
You did mention the embargo, and we know that is definitely one of the segments of the conversation that we're to have. From what I'm hearing here, there are definitely some restrictions going on in terms of what all Cuba can provide educationally to sister countries. Tell us about the embargo and where you stand right now as we speak.
I have to start saying that the last Thursday, November the 7th, for the 28th time, the international community at the United Nations, the General Assembly of the United Nations, voted the resolution, the Cuban resolution against the blockade. So for 28 times, 28 years, we've been voting that. This year, 187 countries voted against the blockade. They voted in favor of the Cuban Revolution, which is against the blockade. And 2 countries within the United States voted in favor of the blockade, which was Israel, means usual ally of the United States and this year Brazil. Something that showed us that the immense majority of the international community has been saying to the United States, you need to end the blockade against Cuba. But as usually, the arrogancy of the empire has shown up that they don't care about anything and they don't pay attention to any call made by the international community. But I would like just to go to the history, because sometimes...
Definitely, because I wanted to know, and I'm sure the Belizean public would like to know, how did we get to the blockade?
Yes, I mean, usually, I mean, it seems to the audience that the blockade was rooted just after 1959 when Fidel Castro came into power. That's what usually you can see in the mainstream media,
yes,
which is not the truth. Let me give you an example. In 1823, the president, John Quincy Adams, by that time, he issued it is called the ripe fruit policy. And if you allow me, let me quote him, because it is important to understand that this is a historical issue. It is not an issue related with Fidel Castro of the communist island down there in Cuba.
Okay.
So in April 1823, U.S. President John Quincy Adams formulated the ripe fruit policy, and then he said, and I'm going to quote it, there are laws of political gravitation such as laws of physical gravitation, and Cuba, separated from Spain, has to gravitate towards the Union, and the Union, by virtue of the law itself, was not going to stop admitting it into its own bosom. There is no foreign territory that can be compared to the United States like the island of Cuba. These islands of Cuba, and Puerto Rico as well, because of their local position, are appendices of the American continent, and one of them, Cuba, almost inside of our coast, has become of transcendental importance for the political and commercial interests of our union. This is the answer of everything.
Wow.
So more than 100 years before Fidel Castro was born, more than 100 years before the revolution in Cuba triumphed, they were thinking, the elite, the US elite, they were thinking to bring Cuba into the Union. So, and that is the key issue, because that has been in their mindset for more than 100 years.
Yes.
The Cuban Revolution triumphed in 1959 because of the situation in Cuba, which is a historical issue. For more than 60 years, the U.S. companies were gravitated into Cuba. They control more of our economy, and including everything, almost everything in Cuba. I mean, it is well known, maybe most of your audience has shown the second part of the Godfather film, that famous scene in one of the Cuban hotels in 1959 with all of those mafia leaders on there. They were deciding what to do in Cuba, what to chair, so they were decided just to become Cuba one of the in Cuba we call that a garito gambling, which is a paradise gambling.
Yes.
So then the revolution triumphed, and then just before Fidel got into power, and before Fidel got into Havana, they were thinking how to manage everything. There is an important official document by the U.S. Department of State. Lester Mallory, which was an undersecretary by that time in 1960, he declared, written one, it's an official document of the U.S. government. And they were saying that based on that policy, we need to try to bring to the Cuban population as much scarcity as we can, just to prevent them to get food or supplies for any kind of situation, just to try to overthrow the government.
Yes.
So it's a coherent policy, the one that the United States has maintained towards Cuba. And this is the history of the blockade. I can be mentioned here many examples of that. So my people has been suffering the whole effects of that. Not when you mention that, sometimes people cannot understand that. For example, we cannot access to any kind of medicine for the patients in Cuba that are affected by cancer. So we have kids that are affected by cancer that they cannot get their proper medicine because we are not allowed to buy any medicine, either produced in the United States or produced in a third country with a U.S. company based on that country. So this is a very complicated situation.
It is.
Fortunately, and I have to say that very responsible, fortunately, during the Obama administration, President Obama understood that that policy has failed, and then he decided to change the policy towards Cuba. That's why in 2014, we both decided to reestablish diplomatic relations. It was a great moment for both Cuba and U.S.
Yes.
Because Obama visited Cuba, and he could realize that how the Cuban people consider a neighbor. So Cuba might be one of the countries worldwide that we haven't burned any U.S. flag, which is something important because of the relation that we have had.
Yes.
That's peculiar. So we were supposed to have something against them. But Obama realized that it was not like that. And I was in Cuba by that time, and I could realize how happy Obama and his staff, they felt in Cuba when they were received as friends and as neighbors.
Yes.
But unfortunately, then after Obama, due to the characteristic of the policy at the United States, then that term, Mr. Trump came on, so which is something that has meant an important change again, an important setback in the U.S. policy toward Cuba. We can mention different examples, but I can say that in the last 2 years, they have gone into an upgrade in the measure, in the actions to try to tighten the blockade. The last one and the most well-known might be that those actions to try to prevent the supplies of fuel to Cuba. They have chasing, they have following, they have gone to even any company that can provide fuel to Cuba to try to stop that. And they have obtained a lot of results in terms of that.
Obviously, there is a rift there, you know, and that, of course, I could hear from you, and I'm sure that you're relaying the sentiments of the Cuban people, and that's one of the things that can be transcended. Now, like you mentioned, there are some examples that can be mentioned when it comes to the blockade, and I'd like for us to go there. I think it's very important for folks to know the relationship that is being shared and what happens during a blockade. At this particular point that is on, the United Nations, the vote took place. 2 countries voted against. All the others voted for. Why isn't it not lifted? Why is that still there if the vote has been taken?
I think that my personal perception is that because this is something that is not just related with Cuba, it's something related with ideological obsession, if I can say that, from the US elite to conduct the whole world. It seems to me that they think that they need to control the whole world. So they are an empire. If you follow the US president's speeches, so then you can realize the lack of respect for almost everything. I'm not going to talk about those anything. I'm going to talk about Cuba.
Yes,
so when you see how he has the relation with those right-wing Cubans in Florida, like Senator Marco Rubio or a couple of guys down there, then you can see that they don't need or they don't want to pay any respect to anyone. They just want to keep what they think they are under the guts, a mandate, just to try to get from all over the world, right? So that's how you see that's how you can see what is happening in Europe or in Asia or in Africa or in Latin America nowadays. Every time they consider that their national interests have been affected, they try to stimulate coups or stimulate any kind of situation down there. So it is nothing related with Cuba. The only difference with Cuba is that they have that obsession since 1823, as I mentioned.
100 years before.
Yeah, I mean, more than yes.
Born.
I mean, the president in 1823, they were thinking how to bring Cuba into the Union. And they have maintained that obsession to try to, because Cuba is located in a very special place. And because after 1959, Cuba represents the dreams of independence and the dreams of sovereignty, something that they cannot stand in their mind. I can understand that, but please allow us just to be an independent country. We have expressed since Fidel Castro, then Raúl, and then our present President Díaz-Canel, that we want to have normal relations with the United States. I spent 4 years of my life in the United States as a diplomatic representative. And I can tell you that the 90% of the US society they are ready and they want to have normal relations with Cuba. This is just a very few percent of that elite who control everything, including radio station, TV station, economic, and so, that they want to keep in their road. But the majority of the U.S. society, civil society, even though some political institutions, they want to have normal relation with Cuba, but this is just that elite that they don't want to do.
You know, there was a time, especially under the reign of the then President Obama, that while some stuff were lifted, there was actually a flourish when it comes to the tourism aspect.
Yes.
Can you elaborate on this for the time being?
I live in Havana. Let me tell you, I mean, there are certain parts of Havana, especially the old Havana site, which is a beautiful one, a colonial site. And I was really very impressed for more than 2 years.
Yeah.
I went thousands of tourists, not only from the United States, but especially from the United States,
Yes.
that they're walking around for all of those streets. They feel safe in Cuba. I mean, I got some friends that visit Cuba by that time, and then I welcome them. And then they walk around Havana and all over the provinces, but especially in Havana, midnight, 2 a.m. in the morning to go to those kind of just centers and so on. And then after that, they say, listen, I feel like if I've been here for many years. So then that you can understand why they don't want to let them, because U.S. citizens are the only citizens in the world that cannot travel free to a country which is Cuba.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, those guys that they want to maintain the blockade, they know what they're doing, because they know that as soon as a U.S. citizen travel to Cuba, they will understand that Cuba is another country. We respect foreigners. Sometimes we respect foreigners as they were part of our family. So it was amazing for me to come across with many tourists, especially the U.S. citizens, and they felt very happy in Cuba, sharing food. We have a historical relation with the United States. Our music, which is a combination of Africa, Asia, Spain, and so on, we have a very common history of music with New Orleans, with the jazz of the United States. So this is something that no one can break. But those politicians in Washington and in Florida, they have tried to prevent our two countries for that kind of relation. But I mean, the voting at the United Nations demonstrates that the international community is against that. So I think we are optimistic, even though that the circumstances that we are facing with the present administration, we are optimistic, and then we know that there will be someday that at the White House there will be someone that will understand that we need to be good neighbors.
You know, I like that you segue there, because that would have been my next question. At what point does the Cuban government foresee a better relations with the U.S.? What do you think needs to happen?
When Obama and Raúl Castro decided to reestablish diplomatic relations, I was in Cuba by that time. I've been part of the U.S. desk at the Foreign Affairs Ministry for many years. So I was part of the efforts by two governments to start different projects. More than 50 projects of cooperation were started in a few months between our two countries. I mean, in different and in a very wide range of fields, from the enforcement law to environmental issues, cultural events, and food programs, and agricultural projects, and I mean, a lot of cooperation options that we have in less than 5 months. Then we started to work, and then we realized that we can work together. So the Cuban government has been very clear in actions that we are ready to work together with the United States. There is nothing that can separate us to have that kind of relation. It is just the arrogancy of the U.S. elite that will not allow that to happen. But we are ready, and we will be ready. As soon as they are ready, we will be ready to work with them.
So that's one of the major points and
yes,
very important
this
part.
is nothing related just with the Cuban government or the U.S. government. It's something that is just from them, because they are the one who who has the maintaining the blockade against us. So we are ready to work with any kind of government in the world. We have relations in Cuba with more than 160 countries. More than 130 embassies are based in Cuba. So it means that we know how to work, and we are ready to work with them. It is up to them.
And it's obvious. I mean, there are a lot of countries that are working very, very good with Cuba, except for this one, this one situation that's going on there. And then again, while Cuba is definitely one of the countries to reckon with, and while we've got this blockade going on, Americans love Cuban athletes. You've got Yastel Puig, who he's a great baseball star in the U.S. Let's venture there and sports with Cuba and the U.S.
I mean, part of that situation that we faced with the Obama administration, and as a result of that, the Cuban Baseball Federation and the Office of the Professional Baseball League in the United States Commissioner Office, we signed a contract, and then we started to work. Because before, due to the blockade, if Cuba want to play at the U.S. Baseball Major League, they need to to denounce for their nationality or their citizenship in Cuba. So they need to declare that they don't want to live in Cuba if they want to work down there, if they want to play down there. So fortunately, after Obama, during the Obama administration, then we signed that contract, and then we began to work. There was a great project that we were working together, but as soon as Trump got into the power, so they canceled that. So it means that I have to say personally, I am very proud to see my fellow Cubans playing at that league, which is for more one of the most important ones. So this year I was just watching the World Series, and there were 5 Cubans in the Houston, playing in Houston.
Houston Astros.
So something that we really appreciate, but we need to have a normal relation. So we don't want to have them playing there just knowing that they had to denounce for their nationality, their citizenship to play there, or they were looking how to get there doing illegal issues. It's been knowing that in this trend, many illegal operation has been involved in that. So actually, including the commissioner, has been looking for that kind of investigation with different institutions, because when you prohibit something, so there are illegal trends that come out. So it means that the only thing that the blockade produces is just difficulties to work together.
Yeah, of course.
So what we have been asking is, let's do it legally.
Yeah.
Let's work together, and then we can have a lot of results. So sports is another field that has been affected by the blockade as itself.
Under the Obama administration and now under the Trump administration, let's talk about the Cuban economy. What was the blow to the Cuban economy?
The economy has been maybe the most affected field of that. Sometimes some U.S. representatives said, this is a bilateral issue, but Cuba can trade with anyone in the world, which is a fake news. Now the fake news is a common term. It's a common term. It's a fake news because it is real. We can trade with anyone. The problem is that anyone cannot trade with us, because if you go to Japan, and there is a company, a Japanese company, which has interest in the United States, or that has a relation with the U.S. company, they are not allowed to trade with Cuba. So that happened either in Japan or in Central America. For example, which is something, nowadays you cannot trade if you don't have a bank related. The bank system is indispensable to trade.
Of course.
So we are not allowed to trade with any country or any company, because as soon as we begin to have a bank relation, if that bank has a relation with a U.S. bank, which is a correspondent bank in the United States, so they are not allowed under the U.S. law to trade with us.
Wow.
I can mention a lot of examples of situations that people are affecting. I don't want to go to any internal issues here in Belize, but we have received different calls from Belizean parents who has kids studying in Cuba.
Yes.
And now they are not allowed to send remittances to there, even though that in Cuba we secure food and books and everything and accommodation to the student for free. I mean, parents like to send some money just to make their
Of course,
life
you
better.
want to make sure the well-being of your child
It
is
happens
better.
it happens everywhere, right? So they are now from the last month, they are not allowed to do so through those companies that usually transfer money to Cuba.
Western Union or...
I don't want to mention any name, but we have received calls from parents very angry, just asking, why? What happened? And then we have to say, this is nothing related with Cuba. You got to go to this place, which has a company who has relation with the U.S., headquartered down there in the United States, and they are the one who has been applied that. The same happened with the bank. So can you imagine if you want to travel to any country just to enjoy your vacations, and you ask for some dollars just to spend on there, and they say, no, which is the country? Cuba? No, we are not allowed just to give you dollars.
So basically you're being cornered from every corner, from trade, sending money.
So it means this is what we call the extraterritorial effect of the blockade. So the blockade is not only affecting Cuban population and Cuba itself. The blockade is affecting third countries like Belize or like any other one. So this is the extraterritorial effect of the blockade, something that has been condemned at the United Nations. I have to say that during the vote last November the 7th, the CARICOM countries, they were very clear on that. And they said, they expressed that they were being affected by the blockade, and they were demanding from the U.S. to stop this. But it is not affecting only Cuba, it is affecting us in our normal trade activities all around the region.
So where do we see an end to this? Does it mean that there needs to be another administration in the White House? Where is there an end to this?
You are asking me?
That
might be a very that might be a very good question for the U.S. government.
And I have to to shed it out. I had. We're totally ignorant to it here in our country for the most part. But at the same time, listening to it and being cornered, and then having a vote in United Nations, which favors Cuba. But at the same time, the blockade is still there. Allies of Cuba, when it comes to trade, trading from here to there, if you're trading with Cuba, then you're not able to trade with the U.S. So it simply means that you're being cornered in that corner there. Last month, knowing that if my daughter is in Cuba studying, I'm not able to send as much money. What's the other alternative? How can I take care of my young one being in Cuba? In terms of sending money or sending necessities to my child, what are the other alternative, if there is any?
No, I don't know. I mean, I cannot give you the alternative. I mean, the only alternative that we can give is Cuba is open. So we are not prohibiting anything. So we are ready to work with anyone. You were asking, it means that it should be another administration at the White House. I gotta say, we are ready to work even with Trump. So it is nothing that we want to introduce any ideological issue here. So we are ready. Listen, the blockade has been in place for more than 60 years.
Yes.
So you can imagine both Democrats and Republicans has been transiting from that situation, from different perspectives, different levels of the blockade. But the blockade is being in place all over the years.
The UN is not working.
Yes.
Another administration is not working.
So Obama demonstrated that it can be possible if you realize that Cuba is an independent country, you realize that Cuba is your neighbor, and you need to have relation with them. It is nothing just related with any political issue. See, the south side of the United States, all of those states in the south, and I've been a witness of that, they've been asking their government, let's have normal relation with them, because I mean the Rice Federation, the Poultry Federation, they want to have Cuba as part of their trade.
Of
because
course.
I mean, we are not China, but we are 11 million market down there, waiting just to have a good relation with them.
Yeah.
If we cannot trade with them, we will trade with another one, right? So it is said that Americans are losing an opportunity in Cuba as well. So what the U.S. administration needs to understand, that they are going not only against the Cuban interest or against another country's interest, but they are going even though against their own interest. I mean, the society are asking them and demanding let's stop it. Let's work with these guys. We have demonstrated that we are serious, that we can do it together. So let's do it.
I want to get back to the point of Belizean parents not being able to send money to their children who are studying in Cuba. They're taken care of by the Cuban government, but at the same time, like you mentioned, you want to at least make sure that they've got sufficient enough on their own. What was that conversation like? Because I'm sure that that the conversation must have been held with the Belizean students who lives there, and of course the Cuban government. What was that conversation like, and the feel from Belizean students with respect to not being able to get money from their parents?
We have met them. We have met some parents here, and we have secured them that their kids will be safe in Cuba, and we will keep the situation. We will be providing food and everything. It is not our problem. I mean, in terms of, we are not the one who had to provide an answer. We are the one who needs those parents to ask the United States, please, why don't you lift that kind of measure? So
yes.
We are in the middle of everything. So we have expressed our decision to maintain the project, but it is the U.S. government who needs to give answers,
yes.
not us.
Just for thought, listening to the situation, it swirled in my mind. Was there any conversation from parents to Cuban government with respect to providing that sum of money to the Cuban embassy here, and the government of Cuba providing that fund to the student?
No,
any such thing?
No, as much as I know, there's not been any kind of compensation related to that. Because, again, our project is very clear.
Yeah.
We provide the scholarships in the terms that we provided. The rest is not in our hands.
Yes.
It's in other people's hands, especially in the U.S. government hands. You can invite some of those parents here to the program and ask them how they feel and how they see the whole situation.
Yeah.
After 30 years giving scholarships for free, is it something that they deserve or we deserve? So the U.S. needs to put their hands and say and be clear and be honest, especially be honest, and then to understand that this is not politics. This is something that they need to understand. It's a humanitarian issue.
I hear you clearly. The situation seemed disturbing, but at the same time, it is the reality that we're going through, U.S. and Cuba. And while we segue from there, finally for me, because we know time is not on our side, and this conversation can go on for the entire morning, because it is very important to have. It is very important for folks to know what the situation is, foreign relations, Belize, Cuba, US, USA. Belize and Cuba, with respect to tourism, is there anything going on there? Belize, Cuba flights, where are we there?
We've been working very hard to try to find, actually I gotta say that, first, before we ended, I gotta say that we feel very grateful for the Belizean attitude in this issue. Even though that Belize is a small country as part of the CARICOM countries,
yes.
not big economies and so, they've been very brave and they've been very solid in maintaining their position against the blockade. This voting was a result of a very brave position of all of the country, because the pressure that they've been receiving from the U.S. has been really very strong. So Belize and Cuba, we've been, as you mentioned, very close in different relations. We have the visit of your Prime Minister by the beginning of the year, yes. Something that we are very proud of. Then we could interchange about all of those projects that we can work on. Tourism was one of them. We are very interested in developing the multi-destination tourism, which is something that if someone comes to Cuba, can visit Belize for a couple of days or different. But again, then something happened, because if you got a flight and that flight company has a relation with a U.S. company, something might happen. It's a banking system is affected because this kind of relation needs to have a banking system related just for the pace and something. So the blockade is like a gust, but at the same time it's something real. It's something that is affecting even the future projects. But we're still working with Belize in many fields, including tourism. There are different delegations have been traveling to Cuba and from Cuba to Belize, and we've been in conversations to do whatever we can do to try to foster the relation and that can benefit both countries.
Excellent. Orestes Hernandez, who is a minister counselor at the Embassy of Cuba to Belize, we want to thank you so very much for coming on this morning to shed light on the situation there with the blockade and the Cuban-Belize relations. Thank you so very much. And here's to wishing you a very, very pleasant day.
My pleasure. And I want to emphasize that we are very grateful for Belizean attitude. We receive at the embassy many calls and many emails from different institutions just expressing their solidarity with Cuba, something that we really appreciate.
Definitely. Thank you so very much. Thank you. Excellent conversation. We hope that we could pick that up again and we continue on with this conversation on the blockade and on the Belize-Cuba relationship. We've got to take a break, but when we come back, White Yardie, first time to Belize, it is a comedy show. That discussion is coming up in just a few. So stay with us, we'll be right back. And welcome back to Open Your Eyes. Yup, we're starting our morning right. I'll tell you what, man. We're starting our morning so right that the right and the right and the white. That's the way it is. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to venture off now into our second conversation for the morning. White Yardie, first time, I believe, and first time indeed. It is a comedy show, and it's kicking off when? Tomorrow, right? It's tomorrow? It's tomorrow? November 15.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, Friday? Yeah, we're spacing out, man. I tell you that much. Now, in to tell us more about it, we've got Delroy Fairweather, who is a promoter. We have the manager, who is Elliot Blake, and of course, the infamous White Yardie in the house. Morning, guys. It's nice to have you in.
Good morning.
Morning.
Open your eyes. Right now, my eyes them still opening up.
I like your cap.
Oh, thank you.
I like your shirt.
Thank you.
I like your sneaks too.
Yeah, man.
Everything look good. Everything nice.
Fresh, clean.
That my boy. You see what I like about it?
Yeah, man. Them say me I go up on TV, so I have to look right.
I'll tell you what. I'll give you guys a little secret. You never want to make a say name, so we're gonna keep it at White. Thy first name, Yardie, second name.
Yes.
And I could imagine probably while you're White Yardie, your grandfather was what?
White
Yardie too?
Yeah, man.
So you're White Yardie, junior.
Junior.
Just carry on. There you go. And then we've got Clay Thompson. I mean him. They look like Clay Thompson, right?
He's got more LeBron, but yeah, we can be great.
Guys, once again, welcome, and it's so nice to have you in. Comedy is something that we love in this country. People forget that, you know, one of the best ways to actually heal yourself is to have yourself some smiles, some laughs.
That's right.
Yeah. Laughs actually keep the mind subtle, keep the mind smooth. In order for you to heal, the mind has to be at level. That's first and foremost. Mm-hmm. Now let's jump on into it. I want to know about you, White Yardie. Where you from? You know, who are you?
What? White Yardie, I'm just a normal man. You know, I'm from Jamaica, living in the UK right now. Yeah, as I left Jamaica when I was 18. I moved to England. Started doing comedy 7 years ago. So I started comedy quite late. You understand what I mean? It wasn't something I wanted to get into or had interest in at the time. It just accidentally happened to be a comedian.
Accidentally happened?
Accident.
Who walked into and become a comedian?
I mean, but my turn because it was first White Yardie did it. So. But basically, what is you know, me have the social media, them apps was out. About 7 years ago, they have Subway come out and them have a lot of interest.
Yeah.
So me go up on there and start do 1-2 video. Just talk about things.
Yeah.
Just talk about anything and everything. Things where you go through as a little boy.
Yeah.
Things where your mother used to do to you and things like that when you're a little boy, like make you clean up the house when all the house clean. She'll tell you to clean it again and then things like really. So people start laugh and say, yo, you're funny, like do some more videos. Then people say, yo, why you not try to stand up?
Yeah.
I'm saying, I'm gonna try it. And yeah, man, I tried to stand up and from there, just gone from strength to strength and yeah, Belize, you know.
Eventually enough to Belize.
Yeah.
7 years after the fact.
Yes.
What was that transition like for you going over to, I mean, Jamaica is a household name on itself.
Yeah.
You know, when you hear this man of Jamaica, they're like, whoa, he is from Jamaica. But while you move on now to over to England, what was that transition like for you?
You know, it's never difficult because when we go over, right, there was you have places in England, what other people understand, there's a lot of Caribbean, there's a lot of Jamaicans in England.
Yes.
So you never really, like, culture shock wise, there was certain things different, like obviously to what me used to, but the whole lifestyle, we can still live a Jamaican lifestyle because I'm surrounded by Jamaicans, like most of my friends are Jamaicans. My barber shop are Jamaicans, the food shop, them, everything. So it's there. It's not like it's not there, but you know, in a way, it helped with the comedy as well because then you can differentiate the difference between them. You can separate them.
Yeah.
So you can say, yo, Jamaicans do this, English do this.
Yeah.
You understand? Our foreigners do this and Jamaicans do this. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's good to see the differences.
So how you buck up to this guy? Because this is your manager right here. This is your manager. This is Elliot Blake. How did you tell me the collaboration there, man? Come, let's go.
I'm originally a promoter.
Yeah.
By trade, and I did comedy shows. Started venturing into it, and then I eventually booked him, and I saw the crowd reaction, and then from there we just got along. I think that was the main thing.
Yeah.
We got along, and I saw the potential. and we can just work together. We vibe off each other, we bounce off each other,
Yeah.
and I think we both got the same goal, which helps.
Yeah.
We've got a vision, we're on track for that vision, and we're not going to stop until we hit that. Which is one of the main things, and that's why, as I said, if you listen to what he said, started 7 years ago, traveling around the world, we're now in Belize, and the vision continues, and we're not going to stop until we hit that end line. And as I say to him, I say to everyone, there's so many doors that come in the way, so many obstacles. Each door and obstacle that comes in the way, we're just going to kick it down until we get to that end goal of where we need to be.
One of the things that strikes out to me is that you mentioned, you know, you saw the guy and you booked him. What made you want to book him?
I'm a strong believer in trying to bring new talent on as well.
Yeah.
And at that stage, he was fairly new, came on, and when you just see the reaction that a crowd gives you,
Yeah.
it says it all.
Yeah.
And then, so that's the first thing. Secondly, our relationship's different. Whether we work together, whether we don't work together, it's my brother for life. Do you know what I mean? We're family.
Yeah.
So it's more than just a working relationship as well, which makes sometimes work even better. When you can work with friends, family, get along, make success out of it, it's a no-brainer for me.
And which moves me now into my buddy, Delray. Del, so you're promoting this show, White Yardie Come the Yard. I come to Belize for the first time. He saw White Yardie. He decided to book him. You saw the product as well. You decided to book him. We know how come it is in Belize. Why you decided to jump on this boat?
Well, John, just as what Elliot is saying, in terms of having one vision, one long-term vision, comedy in Belize, I wouldn't say that it's not something that is upcoming. I think that basically what we're trying to do, get comedy back on track here in Belize. Simply having, working along with Dylan, went and see him at a show at Bliss a couple of years ago. I said that, you know what, I think that we have talent pool here.
Yeah.
We know that a lot of guys actually could sit down in a bar room, the bar room setting, and then just run jokes off. So I think what we want to do now to actually try to see how we could get this industry back up and running.
Yeah.
Elliot have the right perception, and I think that forging a relationship with these guys definitely would be able to get us where we would want to go, because we could maybe 7 years down the road, Dylan could be maybe the next big superstar. People want to book Dylan internationally. Yeah. So that's what we're trying to do. Mr. Mangar, I know a lot of people probably would want to know, hey, who that this guy?
I want to know that who he.
Mr. Mangar, one very deadly comedian. Someone that
deadly.
You might look at him. Yeah.
There's a laugh because some of the things that people comment when they see the poster and see the man face, them say, yo, this is like a mug shot. Yo, like you might hide from somebody.
Yo, and that, while in communication with Mr. Mangar, I had to call him. I said, look, I would want one of your best picture. That the best picture the man had.
That the man best picture with the pink shirt and the tiny mustache. Yep. You take off the mustache as a kid, as a picture, don't you take that off?
He's actually a teacher by profession.
Right here in Belize?
Yeah, in Cayo.
Okay.
He teaches out in Cayo. We also have a young man, Christian Leslie, from Just Kidding. We want to work with him also. Young guy, up and coming person. We'll actually have him on the show. Unfortunately, we booked him a lot later. But I think the whole idea of this thing, that will say where we could get it, how far it could go, start to get people to actually get more involved in it, and again, like I said, forge a relationship with Blake Yardie and try to get them guys out internationally.
So what's the public perception at this particular point?
Well, if you judge based on the social media contact, when White Yardie put up his post on the first one, you have people like, whoa, he's actually coming to Belize? Yeah, he's coming. Oh, tell him I'm his #1 fan. I'm like, yeah, well, come out to the show. Come and meet the guy. The reception so far has been good.
Excellent.
Yeah, and a lot of people here in Belize follow the Facebook. He's also on Instagram. People in Belize might not really be as much into Instagram as they are as Facebook, but whenever he puts up anything, people just go wild. Biggest critique, the food. So one of the things I keep on saying to myself, I have to be careful where I take him to go and eat, because you might get a decent critic,
Yeah.
or you might get something negative. But you know, it's just part of who he is, you know, and what he brings to the table, you know. And like I said, that's something unique, and I think that people could look at what he's doing,
Yeah.
and there's no mimicking it, you know, learn from it, because he had to also probably had to look at someone doing something,
Yeah.
you know, and that's how you learn.
Yeah, that's hey, look. It is the basic way of getting across to where you want to go. Nobody know that you could become a doctor if you don't want a doctor today,
Yep.
you know, or what they do as well. So the man mentioned that, you know what, you're a food critic. I mean, you tough when it comes to that. How long have you been in this country and what's your taste already?
Well, I not really taste much yet, you know, because, you know, they have to sleep and rest up, man.
Yeah.
But
Get one
in
sub,
terms of food critic,
Yeah.
being a food critic, it's more when we see things that just don't look right.
Yeah.
You understand? Presentation is a key, you know, man. Like, okay, like some food tastes good but don't look good. But me like when food look good and taste good. Because if you don't look good, me cannot consume that. It just no.
You know, one of them people will smell your food before you eat it.
Me as a man, me tell you see when we go somewhere and say at lunchtime now and you have about 5 food shop. Me look for the one with ram.
That's
Me
the
go
one you're
wait.
going
Me
to.
I go wait. You see some people them no wait. And they run going at the empty one. Cause nobody now line up. I say, oh, that's no queue no there, so I'm going there. So
Yeah.
I end up having to queue up for the toilet. So yeah. Anyway, you see everybody go. There's so much good.
Your first time in this country, right? Of course.
Yes.
And when did you get in?
Yesterday.
Yesterday. The man had fried jack already. Yeah, you know that the national
Well,
thing.
basically today, I have the tour lineup for him in terms of having him going out. Basically, he was on a 10-day
No, tell them where
soak.
me I going. Tell them where me I going. The next thing you know, just say me out.
Yeah, being on a 10-day soca cruise, you know, I was following
Yeah.
him, and I realized, I said, look, we were thinking about going to Kikaka, but I said, you know what, this man's the water for 10 days.
Yeah.
Put him back on water now. So I have...
Still feel like me there on water.
yeah, man, still a rock. So...
Still a rock right
Yeah,
now.
man. So basically, you know, have him go out west, you know, go
Oh,
and
man.
see some sights and scenes out there.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so I have someone lined up to take him out there, you know, take him and Elliot.
Yeah.
Have them see a little bit of the country, because, you know, this guy is not only here to perform. I want him to see what this country is about,
course,
what this country
of
has to offer, because, guys, he will be coming back again.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Guaranteed, man.
Guaranteed.
Touchdown back.
Yeah, man.
And well, you know, based on your manager. Manager, what's your thoughts so far? Your first time in this country. What are you looking forward to the most?
Do you know what? I've had a long conversation with Delroy,
Yeah.
and I'm a person that loves vision, and I can see the vision that he's got, and everything that he's saying is, I want to do this for the country, I want to get this done, I want to be able to push this further, I want to be able to get the youths into comedy, set up workshops, etc., so that they can get international bookings and branch out, which, especially as it's such a small place, it's lovely to hear that, because you can hear the passion that goes with it as well.
Yeah.
And that works, do you know what I mean? For someone that has a vision and is working towards that,
Yeah.
he just wants everything put on a plate that just shows what Belize has to offer.
Yeah.
And we're happy to be able to go around and see stuff. We don't want to just come here and stay in a hotel or whatnot. We want to go and see what Belize has to offer. We want to go and see the local people.
Yeah.
We want the local people to see White Yardie.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We want the local people to see the work that Delroy is putting in. Because there's a lot of work that goes in it. Not a lot of people always appreciate the work, time and effort that goes into something like that.
Yeah.
So definitely looking forward to seeing what Belize has to offer as a whole.
Yadi,
Yes.
you know, there are a lot of people who probably have got the talent to excel, to do something, to want to go out there, but it's probably reserved. It's probably within. How do you inspire somebody to bring out what they've got?
See, the thing about it is, whatever talent you have, you know, you just have to drop your guard and try something. You just have to take a chance in life and try. Like me, say more to start. When people tell me, say if you do stand up, they saw something in me, right? And say, yo, him have some there's talent there. If me never take the chance and go up on at the stage and try, then it would never have happened. I wouldn't be here now.
Yeah.
We probably would have stopped the videos a long time ago, because it wouldn't be nothing making from it. It wouldn't be a career. So I would have just stopped. So I just believe that people just need to be brave, try, always try. And when you try and you fail, it don't mean, oh, stop. it means you try again.
Yeah.
But you correct yourself. Mistakes are there to be made, you know. Like one thing with me, you know, I don't believe in like, oh, you know, if you make mistakes, you need to make mistakes to learn.
Yeah.
Because when you make mistakes, you learn, and then next time you do it, you don't do the same thing again, and then you excel, and you keep going, and don't just have a plan A, have a plan B, C, D, all of them.
Yeah.
Because not all of them are going to work, but one day they will work, and when you get that, because maybe you might think your plan A is your plan A, but it actually might be your plan B or your plan
That's
C.
your that's
is
your plan.
actually plan A, but just because you never tried that, the one the first, that's why it never works. So anybody out there, just believe in yourself, man, and be real and honest as well.
Excellent.
That's it.
D, I want you to tell me what part we could get tickets from
Right.
because
First
it's very
thing first.
important.
Cancel that line, the one on the white yard. Where you say?
First time the Belize.
Say?
First time the Belize.
Da Belize.
Yeah.
So when
First
you say-
time the Belize.
we would have say first time in a Belize or first time.
Yeah, well, you know, in Jamaica they'd say that, or yeah, first time the Belize. First time this man I touched down here. First time the Belize, the man there.
There's no proper way to pronounce Creole. However you want to do it.
Yeah. Creole, and trust
Yeah,
me,
man.
we want to understand you.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
That's the way it is. But tickets, boss.
Yes,
Tell me
man.
where we could get
All
this.
right, guys, tickets, you can contact me, 610-5190 for tickets. They're also at sale at the Biltmore. Yeah, basically that's it. You could link us on Facebook. You could call the Biltmore. Like I said, you could call me. Yeah, tickets are going. I believe now that people have seen him here. Calls are coming in.
Yeah.
Where can we get tickets and
Yeah.
so forth. Like I said, the doors open at 9 p.m. and the show time starts at 9:30 p.m.
Turn the
And this
camera
is-
on me, tell you.
Yeah.
Turn the camera on me.
You got your cue up.
Yo, listen up, people. Why you are the first time they believe? You know me, I say, no, man? Me there, live. This is not a camera trick. You see me? Me there in your country. Tomorrow night, yeah? We there, Blipmore Plaza. Go grab your ticket, them ticket are sell.
Yeah.
Call the number, it is 610
5190.
5190. Short doors open from 9 p.m. Short time is 9:30. Come laugh till your belly bust. Come laugh, come get a 6-pack. You know, if you want the 6-pack, you want the 6-pack. When we make you laugh, you just tighten up. Yeah. And nobody come in a stush laughing, you know. Come skin your teeth, man, we see it. You see it? So make sure they're there tomorrow. Grab your ticket, them, grab them fast. You can't even go get the ticket them in person at where them can get them.
Best Western Biltmore.
Biltmore Plaza.
What them say? So yeah, see you there.
You know what
You still sound there? You not call the number yet? Are you me attack? You know? Yes, you. Sit up on your couch.
Call somebody.
Get up.
Guys, just one last thing. For persons who VIP with the parking will be next door at Caribbean Motors.
All right.
So just present your tickets with the parking stub, and someone will be there. Secured parking at the Caribbean Motors, because we believe that you want people to come and enjoy themselves, not worrying about if their vehicles, anything will happen to their vehicles.
Yeah.
So that's one of the other things that we added to this whole.
Well, simple as that. Once you deal with Delray, everything's safe. Once you watch White Yard, you know you're safe. And once you're managed by Mr. Blake, you know you're good to go.
But it's seated in the middle, right? So,
Yeah, we do this in the middle, of course. You know, one of the things we love in this country is actually that good feel from people. We've got our Caribbean brother right here with us. We've got our European brother right here with us, and we've got our Yardie.
Yes,
so why not? Tickets are going nice. Tickets are going hot. So tomorrow night, we want for you to go on down to the Best Western Belize Biltmore Plaza. 9 o'clock the door and open. 9:30 this man start the thing. Dylan Jones one there. You know how he is.
Yes,
This
man,
body
mash
that's
up the
something
place.
else. Now, Mr. Leonard man, he don't want to teach her, but they teach her for the jokes too. So, this is your opportunity to go on out. Final words are yours, guys. White Yardie, final words are yours.
Belize, me there. So make sure you follow at the show. Yeah.
You know, once you say that, everybody think you want to sing one song, you know.
Yeah.
So you better start.
Boy. Just come up on soca cruise. You might hear a soca song.
It's a big final word, yours.
We're here. Yardie's here. Don't miss it. Trust me.
Excellent.
You don't want to miss.
All right, guys, for everyone who's supporting the show, I thank you all, and like I said, look out for bigger and better things. All right?
Excellent. We're loving it. I can't wait for tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be great, all right? But we want to thank these guys so very much. We are about to take a break, and when we come back, we've got a musical guest. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Yardie style.
But listen now, something different. New style.
Yeah. A Ziggy's I so. Ziggy's I a.
Back to culture.
Back to the. Digging, hey, are you ready? Listen up, missing what in Lua Bureme, what in a loop, what in a loop. Neighborgan, Lone Bungi Ute, Way Bugalo, Way Bugalo. Sing it out, what in a Lua Bureme, what in a loop. Ziggy Watinalu, listen up, my friends. Neighborga, Lune Bungi Ute, Way Bugalo, Way Bugalo. All right, okay, here we go. Hey, Ziggy, hey, listen, ha, MD, listen up. Here we go. We're here to give the people what they want. We're here to give the people what they need. We give them life. Jesus Christ, He would give you life. Yeah. We're here to give the people what they want. Here to give the people what they need. We give them life. Jesus Christ, He will give you life. Yeah. How I love to tell the story of that baby who came into the world. Hey. Born of that Virgin Mary, God's answer to redeem man's soul. Which igali se remelu, ibagari lele lichigube. Which igali se remelu, ibagari lele lichigube. Hey no, Krieger, everybody, here we go. Billies, are you ready? Ha! Listen up, we're here to give the people what they want. We're here to give the people what they need. We give them life. Jesus Christ, He would give you life. Yeah. Here to give the people what they want. We're here to give the people what they need. We give them life. Jesus Christ, He would give you life. Go. So come one little closer. Let me tell you of the goodness of my God. Oh. How He sent His Son to die for mankind. Show great love for you and I. Whoa, cool red man. Boss big avalu. Who you take? Hey. Whoa. Hey. So bust this one all across Belize. Let Grigor, Belmopan, Belize City know this is how we do it. We're here to give the people what they want. We're here to give the people what they need. We give them life. Jesus Christ, He would give you life. Yeah. We're here to give the people what they want. Here to give the people what they need. We give them life. Jesus Christ, He would give you life. Listen up. Yo, step right up. Step right up. Yo, step right up. Yo, He's the reason why we breathe. Step right up. Yo, step right up. Yo, step right up. Yo, He's the reason why we. Yo, step right up. Yo, step right up. Yo, step right up. He's the reason why we. Yo, step right up. Yo, step right up. Yo, step right up. He's the reason why we spring. Let drums speak. We're here to give the people what they want. We're here to give the people what they need. We give them life. Jesus Christ, He would give you life. Yeah, we're here to give the people what they want. We're here to give the people what they need. We give them life. Jesus Christ, He will give you life. Dash that.
Pull up. Mervin Budram, you did it again.
Thank you.
I swear, my buddy. Morning and welcome, man.
Good morning.
I know you're blowing, and that's the thing about Punta Rock music. You
can't do Punta and not put energy into it. And lose a lead waiting at the process.
Yeah, man. I wonder how many calories somebody needs to track that up for one Punta Rock song. How many calories you could burn dancing a song.
I think what we need to work on is come out with a Punta aerobics video or something. You know, everyone's trying to lose weight right now.
I know there's a Punta aerobics from all the way back when with the Punta Rebels. I remember that one.
Yeah.
I know, a classic.
Yeah, definitely.
But Merv, you did it again, man. You did it again. And that song is very catchy.
Thanks.
We give the people we're here to give the people what they want, what they need.
We give them life.
We give them life.
Jesus Christ, He will give you life.
What inspired you? I mean, this song it's catchy, it's nice, and the Punta Rock style.
Yeah, but, you know, I think I was 14, 15. I had the opportunity to go to Honduras. And I was in one of the communities, San Pedro Sula, and then we went deeper into one of the village. And I remember them playing this crazy guitar, piano, and Garifuna. Like, it was a Garifuna song I had not heard in Belize. And that stuck with me, and you know, as I was working on my album, I wanted to be able to capture that song, that culture, the Garifuna culture, but also capture my faith in it.
Yeah.
And so I started working on it. I kind of got the chorus going for it, and this song actually was a 3-4 year in process song.
So that wasn't yesterday that you wrote that and then?
It wasn't exactly. It wasn't yesterday. I was thinking about it for a while, thinking about the music. Actually, I had a good friend of mine, Dale Guzman, he's featured on it.
Yes.
He's in my band Ripple Effect. And I wrote him. No, this is embarrassing, but I don't understand a lot of Garifuna. And so I remember writing him and say, Dale, this is what I need to say. How can I say this in Garifuna? And because as I'm trying to learn the culture, learn my language, because my mom's Garifuna, my dad's Indian.
Oh,
and
wow.
So I'm trying to learn the language. I'm like, how do you say this? How do you say that? And be able to capture the words and the pronunciation properly. You know.
So that, you know, funny enough, you said, you know what, this is embarrassing.
It is. You know, it's one of those things where, you know, you grow up. And I'm sharing this because I really want this to change. Even with our kids, we're working on this. But, you know, we grew up. The only time my parents used to talk their language was when they wanted to say something that we should know. Right? So for me, I never really grabbed the language when I was a kid the way I should. And that's one of the things I'm trying to rectify.
Was Garifuna spoken in your home?
Not all the time. Not all the time. But I grew up in Langriga. And so we heard it outside.
Large Garifuna community.
Yes, large community, but I didn't hear it a lot in my home.
Okay. Well, for me, you know, it's strangely enough, it was spoken in my home because I'm Garifuna. I mean, 100%.
100%.
But for the most part, Garifuna was spoken, and my aunt might tell me one or two things, but for the most part, it was when they were about to scold you.
Yes.
Like, why, you know? So that's the way it is. But let's get down to this song, my buddy. I really like this song. How you put these words together. And then Dale decided, all right, so when this one translate that. How do you knock that down, man?
You know, it's part of the art process. I don't like to just write songs. I believe in having good hooks. And so when I was thinking about the chorus, I wanted something that would stick with someone and stick with when you hear it. And I just started to, what do people really want? And even as a band, people are expecting the hype. And we bring the hype, but we wanted to bring the hype with a message behind it. And so we're here to give you what you want. And what do I want? We're here to give you what you need, and that kind of grabs you. What do I need? And we're here to give you life. And you know, and for my faith, Jesus Christ, He can give you life. And that kind of resounded in my mind and in my heart. And I'm like, okay, let's put that down on paper. We wrote that. We hum it. We try to find a melody that kind of was catchy, that fit for it. And then the verses was just a matter of how do we tie in the message with that hook, right? And so, you know, as in my faith, the Christian faith, you know, it's typical, you know, the birth of Jesus, Mary, the Virgin Mary, and that whole process. And I'm like, okay, how can I bring that in a new way, a refreshing way, but something that can stick with people?
So you just dropped today, or you dropped this before?
This this was released. The song was released in 2015 when I dropped my album. But it's, you know, I have plans to do a music video for it, and so this year I was like, okay, let's bring the song back up, because we normally, most people know me for soca, most people know me for reggae and stuff, so we've always done that. And I'm like, the more as I came into this year, one of my goals was to start incorporate my culture into to what I do musically. And so I have several Paranda songs I'm working on.
Wow.
I actually have, I'm working on a Paranda reggae right now. So it's going to be quite epic when you guys hear it, but it's fusing the Hugu Hugu Garifuna drums in reggae.
Into reggae music.
Into reggae music. And that's something I'm kind of working on right now, kind of taking our culture and fusing it with the music that's out there.
What has the response been like from the public with respect to this song?
It's been great. I performed this in Barbados. I was in Barbados last year, and I performed this at the Barbados Music Fest.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, first time they heard that kind of song. And so it was amazing to see the crowd reaction. Some people, like, when we're on the stage, we throw it down. And some people like, I didn't know you can dance like that on the stage.
What?
And Kevon was actually with me performing. He's from Georgetown Village. So you have the authentic Garifuna. Throw it down.
Got it down,
And when he broke it down, everybody like looked shocked. But I was shocked to see that in the Caribbean, they're not as familiar with the Punta song. And so for us, we were like, this is something we need to capitalize on, because we have something we can export. In the Caribbean, everyone knows soca, everyone knows reggae, but we need to continue push our Punta song out there, because it is our unique song that we have, Paranda and Punta, that we have to offer.
Especially using the language, the Garifuna language, while you're playing this song. Now, especially that you performed this song, and so therefore it was sung in Garifuna. Well, at least for the first verse there, for the verses that you've got. What was that like? Performing that out there.
It was awesome, because when everyone start appreciate culture and song, and our Garifuna dialect is stemmed from African heritage and all of that. So there is a move right now of culture in the world where everyone's starting to really embrace and appreciate the diversity. And so when we did that made us stand out. That made us stand out there from all the other artists, because we brought something very home and very unique to the table.
I'm glad you mentioned your performance out there, because for the Carifesta, that's another thing whereby once Belizeans go to some places, and I tell this to a lot of people, once we the Belize touch something and we take that out, people tend to resonate to it, people tend to gravitate to it, and that's simply because what we've got is genuine. We're representing our culture, we're representing our country first. And I always say as well, firstly, to anybody, we are Belizean. Then we're Belizean Garifuna, Belizean Mestizo, Belizean Maya. Now, the reason for that is because that's your identity, especially when you have to represent out there. Nobody don't just know Garifuna, but they know Belize.
Exactly.
So Belizean Garifuna is how you represent. What do you think of that?
I agree. I going and I've traveled. I've had the privilege of travel a lot. I've performing. Actually, I was in Atlanta in October this year. I was performing up there, and I started to greet the guy, the one who Garifuna word I know clear, because every morning a guy, our neighbor used to say to my mom, every morning. And so I actually started to take the stage when I was in the States, and I said, and I started, because I realized in a world there's so many artists and performers, and what makes us different, what makes us stand out, and it's our culture, it's our language. And so especially when I was in Barbados, I started to really appreciate the culture and heritage we have. Sometimes living here, performing here, we're saturated in it. We don't take it all that serious. But when you get to go out and realize, wow, we are unique in what we have.
Of course.
And we need to be proud of it. When we were in Barbados, I saw different cultures come in, their outfits, their suit, and they perform on the stage. I was blown away just how beautiful it looked. And I'm like, we can do that, and we need to be proud about that. And so it's something I'm embracing more. I am one of, that's why I said I was ashamed to say it earlier, but I'm one of those late bloomers. I'm slowly embracing more our culture and more our heritage, and putting it into our music and our drums. Just guys, our drums is amazing, and I just want to say that to our people, the Garifuna drums, the rhythms that we produce, it's an amazing song, and for us to not take that lightly and know that our song can resonate into the Caribbean region.
So while we wind down, Mervin, what's next for you and your band at least?
Well, for me, I'll say not just for my band, but for me, I've been on a journey, and I'm on a journey where I am in transition right now. So most people know me for music, but I'm not just music. Some people know me business, some people know me music. I'm on a holistic approach right now. And so I'm a speaker, I'm an artist, a musician, I'm an entrepreneur. So right now I'm in that process of kind of stepping out more on that on the scene, on that fully, not just as an artist, but also as a speaker, also as an entrepreneur, as a consultant, and kind of bringing all of that to the table. I've been in the music industry since I was 9, kind of bringing some consultation to artists in that era, but also some business aspect of it. I've had to work through some of the business process of it and getting my music out there. I mean, my music is being played in Africa. It's being played in the Caribbean region, in the US, in England, and there's some stuff I had to learn over the years. And so kind of bringing that back home and say, hey, here's how we can do it. And I'm still learning as well as we go through that process. I'm working on a book right now. So my plan is to have that be released next year. I'm working on several other stuff, podcasts and several other things I'm working on.
MD, you know, I'm blown away to know the amount of things that you're trying to juggle in one lifetime. And there are a lot of people who are trying to wrap their minds on how to get at least 1 or 2 knocked down together. Now, what I'd like for you to share with us, and it's very important. It's very important because for me, and I always tell a lot of people that each one teach one. And every person is every person's asset. And we're assets because we tend to learn from each other. That is why. Now, while we learn from you, I want to learn, how do you juggle being an artist, a parent, a musician, you know, how do you juggle all these things on a daily basis?
I think I came to a place, first of all, I need to say that for me, it's my faith. It starts with my faith. And there's a verse in the Bible that's key to me. It says, without vision, we cast off restraint. Another translation would say, without vision, you don't exercise discipline. It's discipline. You have to have discipline, and you have discipline because of the vision you're seeing. From a young age, I start to see what I want, where I want to go, who I want to be, and it's discipline. Also, is surrounding yourself with the right team. I have a very great people around me. I have a lot of great people I stand on who supports me, and so you need to build your team. It's important to build your team. While I'm working on one era, another team member is working on another era. I think that's very important to have a healthy team. Have people who see the vision, support the vision, and rally around with you. Practical tips for me: you can't do it all at the same time. It's not if you do the juggling act, something will drop. I learned this from a speaker. I was at a conference and he taught on this. Don't let the same thing drop twice. So if I might, like this week, I might be pushing hard on a product. I might neglect to spend that extra time with my family. I will make it up. I won't let 2 days pass without making that up. Or I might not finish up this thing. I won't make 2 days pass without finishing. So it's being attentive and making sure that, yes, it might slip from time to time, but making sure that I go back and don't allow it to become a consistent, repetitive thing.
And that to me builds, that to me resonates as discipline. And I also, I had to do this. Last year, I actually started to, I have a life coach, someone I meet with on a regular basis that helps me to kind of, her name is Melanie Escalante. If anyone needs a life coach, she's an excellent life coach. And I meet with her weekly, and we kind of go over mindsets. We kind of go over goals and vision, and like, okay, yes, this is a goal, but is this for now? And start make an action plan in reaching those goals. One at a time, and sometimes as we're working towards one goal, another one gets fulfilled because it cross-pollinates and everything like that. But it's having that team, having the right people, submitting yourself to the process, and being disciplined and do it. You know, take action. We can talk, but you got to take action. You got to take action. Mervyn, I want to thank you so very much, man. That song, though.
Thank you.
What's the name of the song?
Give Life.
Give Life.
Yes.
We give the people what they want. We give the people what they need. We give them life.
Jesus Christ, He can give you life.
All right.
And it's on, if you want, it's on Apple, it's on iTunes, it's on YouTube. You can find it there as well.
Mervyn MD Boudram, this guy, Belizean artist, Belizean, what else? Entrepreneur, Belizean speaker, Belizean.
Soon to be author.
Soon to be author because he's doing his book. But we want to thank you so very much.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
We're about to take our final break, and when we come back, it is for the wrap-up, so stay tuned.
Belize Bank's Christmas Flexi Loans are here. Let's
In this season of KTV Latino, you can vote for your favorite contestant by using your Digiphone or your smartphone. Digi users will text only the contestant's number and send to 5888. Each text sent is equal to 1 vote, so text as many times as you want. Smart users will text the number of votes followed by a space, then the contestant's number and send to 5885. Here are this week's contestants.
Como la flor, con tanto amor, me diste tú, se marchito.
Las muchachas lindas no quieren bailar, están esperando a ser el bailador, porque tiene gracia para moverse con sabor, y a ella le gusta como las mueve el señor.
No llores por mí, no llores mi vida, no llores así.
Remember, voting ends on Sunday at midnight. KTV Latino Season 4. It's hot, it's live, and it's only on 5.
KTV Latino.
And welcome back, and every good thing must come to an end. We want to say a big thank you to all who visit us. We want to say a big thank you to Orestes Hernandez, who is the Minister Counselor at the Embassy of Cuba to Belize. We had a wonderful conversation with him on Unblock Cuba advocacy, as you're advocating for that. We also want to say a big thank you to White Yardie, who is in the country. He is a comedian, from Jamaica by way of England, and he's doing some big things across this world. We're fortunate enough to have him in the country, and he'll be performing tomorrow night at the Best Western Belize Biltmore Plaza. White Yardie along with Dylan Jones and Mr. Mangar. So we know for a fact that the night is going to be electrifying. Get your tickets. You could get them right there at the Biltmore. Doors open at 9 o'clock tomorrow evening, and the show starts at 9:30 as well. And we also want to say a big thank you to Mervyn Budrum. He's one of Belize's best. This guy is an artist, he's an entrepreneur, he's becoming an author. You know, so things are happening in our country. And my final words to you would be, don't try to limit yourself. Don't try to limit yourself. If you've got it within, if that's how you feel within, then you bring it out. There's an audience for everything in our little country. But we've got to go. If you've got any questions, any concerns at all, drop us a line at oye@channel5belize.com. Oh, and by the way, don't forget tomorrow night as well, it's the playback to KTV Latino Season 4. It's going to be a good one. Who will it be? The finals. Who will it be for $10,000? Will it be Marino? Will it be Lala? Or will it be Mr. Berry? We're not sure. This coming Monday, November 18th, is going to be the date that we find out who the champ for KTV Latino Season 4 will be. And they'll be walking away with $10,000. You can catch a repeat tomorrow night and, of course, on Sunday night as well. It's going to be good. Again, if you've got any questions, any concerns, drop us a line at oye@channel5belize.com. You could always check out the playback on YouTube. You could also check out the playback of Open Your Eyes on Facebook as well. Join us again tomorrow when you open your eyes to start your morning right. Up until then, keep your eyes, your minds, and your hearts open. Enjoy your day, Belize.
Open Your Eyes was brought to you by the Belize Bank. Our country, your bank.